All right, we've made it to the interlude section once again, and there is a note for Levi, so we're going to do that before continuing on in the main story. So let's refresh ourselves on the Black Shadow scene.
Again. I did it again. I wasn't asked to do this. I didn't even know if he was going to be a hindrance. I killed again. I can't hold this desire back. My body and soul disobey my mind and move on their own accord. Maybe there's a monster inside of me, and that thing is taking over my body to do this. But today's kill was pretty well done. Only my fingertips are dirty. I'm getting better at this. But I can't brag about this to anyone no matter how good I get. I couldn't tell anyone in the first place. I'd better get cleaned up. I went to the well in the back of the manor. No one uses it at this hour. I dumped the almost freezing water on myself. The blood all flowed away, but the stench still remained. I think it stuck on me at this point. On my fingers, under my nails. The stench of death. It stinks. I dumped more water on me. It still smells. I dumped even more water on me. I rubbed my nails together as roughly as I could. It wouldn't come off. No matter how much I washed it off, the smell wouldn't go away. But that's only natural. The stench was only a figment of my imagination. The visual memory stimulates my sense of smell. On a whim, I went to look at a body of someone I killed a while ago. I really shouldn't do this until it's been discovered, but I hid it a little too well. The corpse was protected by the cold air of the night and would never decompose. Yet it still gave off a terrible stench. The skin had a ghastly pale color, making it indistinguishable between a man or a woman. It belonged to a human long dead. Even seeing that change, I felt nothing. All right. Still dead. I did kill it, right? This should be all right. All right. What's all right? What are you looking at? The man that was supposed to be dead was standing in the darkness. It was the man I killed. He looked at me with hatred in his eyes. But that's all he does. He just stares. Those bloody, rotted eyes look at me. The ghosts chase after the stench of death stuck on me. Go away. Don't look at me. I closed my eyes and told that to myself over and over again. It's all right. I killed them properly. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. Even when my fingers lost feeling from the cold, the stench still remained. My hands no longer felt warm. Maybe these hands don't belong to a human anymore. The hands of a monster. Ice cold.
Levi?
Ah! Chad? Did he see me? No, I washed off all the blood. There should be nothing left.
I heard water splashing, so I was wondering what it was. If you're washing your hands, you should have done so inside.
Well, about that.
Oh, I see. You were probably playing with mud, weren't you? And you thought Francisca would yell at you.
What? I would never do something childish like...
Wow, that's cold! Your hands are as cold as ice, Levi.
He held my hand without hesitation. You're okay? Even while holding my hand?
Come on inside. I was making some nice hot soup. You should have some. Levi?
I hope it's edible.
Oh, you're going to be like that. Fine, you don't have to force yourself to eat.
I'm kidding!
Shake, 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 shake. Conversations happening in the background. He's falling more and more in love.
It was warm. His hands. His words. His eyes that looked over at me. I was sure the soup was just the same and would warm my heart. As long as I'm with him. As long as I'm allowed to be with him. I can remain human. I won't have to become a cold monster. I can just stay human.
No. He loves that boy, or girl, or whatever. He loves Jed so much. Alright. Well, I'm glad we got to see that again. So I'm going to go return to the interlude, and then I'll bring you guys in after the whole Lugas chapter. I know there's like a whole chapter where it's just Lugas, so I'll skip ahead through that, and then whenever Levi shows up again. Ah, we get a glimpse of Levi. Guess it's a good time to bring you guys in then. I thought I saw him just briefly as I was flying through here in Skip Town. So, okay, we'll see what this is all about. This is after, by the way, after the whole Lugas taking care of us thing and rejecting Levon's kiss advances and stuff. So we're out and about in town. That's where we are in this stream of time. The sense of powerlessness overcame me as I walked back. Out in the distance, I saw someone I recognized. Or rather, someone I thought I recognized. I couldn't be sure of it at all. But still, I was compelled to run toward him. He was gone. I looked around but didn't see anyone resembling him. I thought I saw Levi. Maybe he wasn't really here. Ever since that day, I hadn't seen Levi anywhere. I didn't even have an idea where he could be. I hoped he was all right. We're just seeing him in shadows and things.
I saw the younger brother.
Huh? A few days later, Elric spoke during dinner at the church. He suddenly started the conversation at random. When? And where?
Just earlier. I saw someone go into the alley. It was hard to see because of the fog, but I don't think I got the wrong guy.
Elric, I keep telling you to stop walking around at night.
I wasn't just walking around. I was taking Rabbit out for a walk.
Puh!
How is that different? If you want to take a walk, get it done while it's light out.
Lawrence, can you save the lecturing for later? Disciplining kids was important in its own right, but there were more pressing things at hand. Are you sure? Was it really Levi?
Yes, I'm sure. Are you doubting me?
Elric said he just saw Levi. That meant he could still be nearby. By the time I realized it, I had already run out of the church.
Good job, kid. You were looking around for her sake.
Why would I do that?
Out of kindness? No, that couldn't be. Maybe you had something bothering you about him. As if he reminded you of yourself.
Huh? That can't be true. I'm done eating.
Oh, hold on, Elric. Take care.
This all makes so much more sense now that I've done like the more short episodes with Elric and Levi. Like him being involved with finding Levi here makes more sense to me than the first time around, so I'm glad we got those extra short episodes. The town at night was veiled in a thick fog. The scenery was supposed to be familiar, but the fog seemed thicker than usual today. Would I be able to find Levi in this fog? Elric said he was in the alleyway, but which one? There were tons of alleyways in this town. I realized how careless I was. Why didn't I ask for more details? Shouldn't I have told Levon, too? What should I do? Should I go back? But what if Levi disappeared in the meantime?
Pooh! Pooh!
Mulling over what to do next, I heard an animal cry while hopping over to me.
Thank goodness you're still here.
Elric! Why?
Rabbit followed your scent. You'd better thank her.
Pooh!
I mean, what are you doing here?
A certain somebody threw herself outside without listening to what I had to say.
I would never admit that I was just about to return to ask for more details. It was such a surprise that he would come looking for me.
What are you daydreaming about?
Are you going to take me there?
I don't have a choice. You're so slow that you probably couldn't find him by yourself in a million years.
I'm not slow. Thanks for the gesture, but if you could just tell me where he is.
Just come with me. Hurry.
I didn't think it was right to be walking through the unsafe parts of town with a kid this late at night. But then again, it wasn't the time to be arguing.
It's not like you're a stranger to me.
Huh?
Nothing. Come on. Hurry up or I'll leave you in the dust.
He's saying you're his friend, girl. Any moment I took my eyes off him, his tiny back completely vanished in the fog. I moved quickly so I wouldn't lose sight of him. After walking with Elric for a few minutes, I started to hear someone else's footsteps. It sounded like someone stepping in sand. I stopped. Elric must have heard it too. He was looking in the direction of the sound.
Say.
Yeah, I know. I motioned with my hand for Elric to stop, and I started to approach the source. I forgot about that. That is so scary. Something was shining. 2 sparks in the darkness. There was a silhouette around those lights. Those lights were eyes. As I drew even closer, I realized what they were. Levi's eyes. Like those of a beast. Levi? No answer. I only heard strained breaths. He looked like an injured predator. Was this really the Levi I knew? Or was he a completely different person that had been taken over by the madness of the magical stone? If only I could see what's inside Levi's heart. Would I be able to? When it happened with Levon, it was entirely by accident. This time I would have to do it intentionally. I focused my entire being into my right eye. Levi moved before I could. El! I stood in front of Elric to protect him. I couldn't let Levi hurt anyone else. Levi jumped straight at me with a knife in his hand. I pulled away and dodged the tip of the knife.
What the hell was that for? Levi, did you really go insane?
I was impressed at how Elric wasn't afraid of the situation. But now was a really bad time for that. Levi reacted to Elric's voice and changed his target. Watch out! I grabbed him to force him to stop, but... Gah! He easily shook me off, throwing me against the wall. I didn't know he was this strong. When we wrestled as kids, we were about evenly matched. But thinking about it, it shouldn't have been a surprise. More than 10 years had passed since then, and Levi was also a man. Levi slowly walked up to me, but I couldn't move from the pain.
Jed!
Get away! I shouted to keep Elric at bay while I continued to glare at Levi. He had completely gone insane. The ring on Levi's knife-wielding hand glimmered. The magical stone set in that ring gave off a dark glow. It's because of that, isn't it? The ring with the magical stone shone with a dull light. As if reacting to it, my right eye also glowed red. It was the same as with Levon. Levi's heart flowed into me. Here we go. In that moment, I felt chills. My entire body shook. I sensed an emotion that I had never felt before. It was an emotion that I could never accept. The slickness of blood, the stench of bloody chunks of flesh, along with the impulse and excitement that came with the act of taking lives. The desire to murder. If this was what Levi truly thought, if this was everything that was Levi, then he had, without a doubt, gone truly mad. I felt like I would go insane too if I stayed there any longer. I felt sick, scared. I wanted to flee. I didn't want to look at it any longer. But... I shook away the insanity that tried to flow inside of me. I tried to endure the pressing madness that tried to swallow me whole. This couldn't be the only thing here. I didn't know this Levi, but there must be a vestige of the one I did still in there somewhere. He must be somewhere inside this madness. Where was he? Where was Levi? Found him. Through the storm of lunacy, I saw Levi's tiny back. His head and shoulders were covered in snow. He must have been there for a long time. He was left there, all alone.
Damn it! Damn it! It won't come off! The blood! The stench! It stays on me no matter how much I try to wash it off! Get off! I can't see anyone like this! Not Levon! Not Mother! Not him!
He was washing his hands. There was a puddle of water at Levi's feet. The water was stained with the color red and smelled of death. I walked through that red puddle, splashing it as I went. I took Levi's hand.
What?
I got you, little one. No, poor boy. He looked up, surprised. He was weeping. He was afraid of seeing me. I looked at Levi's hand in mine. It was filthy. Blood and oil gave it a dark red color. There were cracks in his skin because he had been washing with cold water all this time. And his hands were also cold as ice.
Let go of me! Don't look at me!
Levi tried to move away. But I broke his hand. I didn't let go of his hand. I gripped tightly so that my body heat could transfer to him. Don't run away. It's all right. I know everything. Everything that you've done, Levi. Even so, I know you haven't changed at all. My sight returned to me. A powerful sense of dizziness and nausea overcame me. This was what Levi was feeling. Pain and suffering. A cry for help. He was crying deep down in his heart, but in this moment he was holding a knife to me. Levi. He held his knife high up. No matter where he struck me, I would likely die, but I believed in Levi. Arrgh! Levi's eyes opened wide. The knife came down on me. I kept my eyes open so I could watch until the very end. Blood danced in the air. Something warm and sticky splattered all over my face. The knife struck. It was close to my face, embedded in Levi's left hand.
Gah! Gah! Gah!
A scream of pain, or perhaps it was more like a roar of defiance. Levi?
Ah! Ah!
A tried to calm him down, holding him from collapsing to the ground. But in the next instant, he bit down on my right shoulder, and now comes one of my favorite CGs. Because her face... her face is so inappropriate. This girl... Girl, I swear, what is going on with you in that face? Gah! His teeth dug deep through my clothes. It felt like he was tearing through my flesh. I couldn't see his expression from this position, but from the way his body shook, it felt like he was trying to endure something.
Levi! Stop! Get away!
It's okay, Ulrich! Just let him!
No, it's not okay! You need to treat those wounds!
I said it's okay! I spoke sternly to Ulrich while trying to maintain a calm voice. Still, it really hurt. But I'm sure Levi was enduring pain many times stronger than this. Just let Levi do what he wants right now.
What? Why? I don't get you two!
It's okay, Ulrich. I don't get them either. The two of us tried to endure the pain while embracing each other. I didn't move and didn't resist either. I gradually felt the pain decreasing. Could it be that my shoulder was going numb? Or was he loosening his bite? After a short sigh, Levi's mouth moved away from me. It wasn't the breathing of a beast, but that of a man.
Chad!
Levi? Have you come too?
I'm sorry.
It hurts. A lot.
Same here.
It seemed that Levi's eyes were still clouded. The insanity might not have completely left him yet. But even through this short exchange, I could say one thing for certain. Levi was back.
Why the hell would you let yourself get a stupid wound like that?
Pooh!
Ulrich and Rabbit were mad. I would say I deserved it. It seemed that I kept these two in suspense the whole time.
I don't know how to treat wounds, so you're gonna have to get that looked at by Lawrence.
He picked up Rabbit and started walking away. It would be better if I returned to the church for now. Levi, can you walk?
Sorry. Can you help me up?
I don't think I can give much support on my right side right now.
Then help me with the other side.
Well, aren't we just a mess together? The two of us tried to support our weights by leaning on each other as we left town. What a fine kettle of fish.
Alright, that should do it.
Ow! He slapped at my wound over the bandages. That hurt. That really hurt. Lawrence, what was that for?
Jeez. You two came back with such stupid wounds.
My protest was cut short by his lecturing voice. A stupid wound? I just heard that not too long ago. But he was exactly right, so I didn't have the will to talk back. Although it might be a stupid wound, Levi's was much more serious, causing his to take longer to treat. Lawrence was able to get to me only after the sun started to shine through the church windows.
I'm so sorry. It's all my fault.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. I didn't need him to apologize anymore, especially after what he went through. I was glad he's back to normal. You're okay now, right?
Yeah, probably.
Then I need to ask you something. It might be difficult for you to answer, but do you mind?
I'll tell you everything. But
what?
you haven't slept since last night. Don't worry, I won't be going anywhere.
He was right. Levi and I both hadn't slept. We were both injured, so it would be better to rest for now. But so much for that plan. But right when I thought that, a loud banging noise echoed through the church as the door was flung open.
Levi!
Levon?
Levon!
The source of the voice, with light shining from behind him, was, without a doubt, Levon. What was he doing here?
I called him over. I thought it would be better if both of you got yelled at.
Pooh!
I see. So those two were the reason for it. I didn't know if I should praise them for being considerate or reprimand them for doing something entirely unnecessary. Either way, the choice of resting a little was completely thrown out. It's like, after what you two just pulled, you don't deserve any rest. Only a little time was needed for everyone to calm down. It was then followed by silence. We had the opportunity to talk, but I didn't know how to start. Seeing Levi in the light of day revealed that he was completely weakened. It made me reluctant to ask him anything in that state. I wondered if he had been hiding somewhere since that day, all the while being tortured by his own insanity. Unable to stand by any longer, Levon was the one to open his mouth first.
Is it true that you have been murdering people?
Everyone focused on Levi. After a long time, Levi nodded. He affirmed it, so it was true. I knew it already, but seeing him admit it really pained me.
Why? There was no reason for you to stain your hands with blood.
In the beginning, it was just a coincidence.
He started to mumble in a low voice. I didn't want to listen, but I had to. I focused my ears so that I didn't even miss a single word.
I wonder when it all started. Mother said that there was someone that wouldn't listen to her, no matter what. I saw him in town by chance, so I decided to settle things. I planned on roughing him up if he intended on defying Mother indefinitely. That really was all I originally intended.
And you...
I punched him just to threaten him, but he started bleeding. I only did it lightly, so he probably only got a cut on his lip. But the moment I saw that, I don't know what happened. I could feel my body burn with excitement. And by the time I realized it,
You killed him.
This time, Levi nodded immediately.
That was when I learned. Actually, saying that I realized it would be more accurate. That I loved killing people.
I think it's called murderous impulse.
Murderous impulse. The love of killing. I knew what the words meant, but I could never understand it. Was it something like a small child pulling the wings off of insects? That emotion could be felt toward fellow humans as well.
You don't need to even try to understand it. Normal people wouldn't be able to.
You sound like you do.
Of course not. How would I?
Lawrence looks down at him like, boy.
And your... should I call it a fixation? Are the people here the only ones who know about it?
No, I told Mother.
Francisca?
Of course. She was the first person I told.
Francisca knew about this. I was reminded of what Lucas told me. He said that Francisca was the one pulling the strings behind the murders. Then it's true.
After killing the guy, my head suddenly cooled off. I knew I did something risky, and I was afraid it would cause trouble to the family. And to Mother.
And what did she say?
She praised me.
Huh?
Huh?
She praised me by saying I did well. I was so surprised. I thought she would slap me or cry about it. But Mother smiled and praised me.
Levi must have been thinking about Francisca. He made an almost childish smile. I wonder if that was like the only time she ever praised him was after he killed people. Because we often see her scolding him for things. I, in contrast, was feeling some despair. So it was true. Francisca used Levi.
And she said that it would be trouble if people found out, so she had it taken care of. She told me to be careful from then on. I started using this knife because Mother told me.
Levi looked so happy. To him, that knife must not be a murder weapon, but a keepsake that reminded him of Francisca. Levon and I were speechless. Levon seemed to be more in shock since I had already begun to suspect Francisca. Levi's confession continued.
And from then on, I derived more pleasure from killing. Why wouldn't I? I loved killing in the first place, and Mother would praise me for it too. I had no reason to stop.
Are you serious? How can you think that could be allowed?
Besides, Levon wouldn't have to dirty his hands anymore. I could just kill the ones that interfered with us.
Me?
Levon, you need to remain as clean as possible. You're wise, reliable, and everyone looks up to you. You can be the ideal lord that everyone wants. I think Mother felt the same way. That's why she praised me for doing this. She thanked me for dirtying my own hands for Levon. She said I was such a good boy for shedding blood in place of him.
Is that what you were thinking?
That's why I continued. My killings were for the sake of our clan. They were for Mother and you, Levon. But I sometimes wonder if that's true. I actually don't know myself. Maybe I'm just killing to satisfy my own pleasures. Because I almost...
Levi looked at me, but when our glances met, I quickly turned away. He had been smiling in a self-deprecating way earlier, but his expression gradually darkened. The wound that Levi gave me still stung, although it should almost be completely healed.
I can't hold back this impulse whenever I see blood. It's like there's someone else inside of me. He rages. He doesn't care who he's up against. When I saw your blood, my mind just went blank. And by the time I realized it, I was holding a bloody knife.
Lucas saved me when I was unconscious. If it weren't for him, right now I'd be... I'm not dead. I'm doing fine, as you can see.
Thank goodness. Really. If you died, if I had killed you, I don't know what I would have done.
Levi. Oh yeah, I think this is Hugh.
Levi, when did you start wearing the magical stone?
A man joined in the conversation without anyone noticing his entrance. Everyone jumped up and turned to the source of the voice.
Oh, excuse me. Did I scare you?
Who are you?
Hugh! When did you come in here?
You're the man from the snowdrop field.
Everyone exclaimed in surprise. Lawrence and Elric, on the other hand, seemed to be disgusted by the whole ordeal. Don't blame them.
Oh, brother. We seem to have so many strange guests today.
I thought I locked the doors. How'd you get in here? Levon here seems to remember me. There hasn't been enough time passed for me to greet you with long time no see.
Were you eavesdropping?
Jed, who is he?
He's... The entire atmosphere was in chaos. It would be better if I gave a proper explanation to everyone. Hugh picked up Levi's left hand, completely ignoring the confused crowd.
Hey, what are you doing?
Don't move. Oh, look here.
Levi was still wearing the ring with the magical stone set in it. When I looked at the stone now, it didn't appear to give off that glow.
It's quite clouded. You must have been heavily influenced by its effects.
Effects? Never mind that! Who the hell are you?
I'd like for you to answer my question. So, Levi, when did you start wearing this?
When?
Since he was a kid. I received mine at the same time. They are our family's heirlooms.
I see. No wonder you seem to keep it on your person so carefully. Levi and Levon both. Excuse me. I suppose that's neither here nor there right now.
Hugh, you said that Levi was under its effect. I still hadn't told Levon and Levi about the stones. I was the only one who understood what Hugh was talking about. And you're saying Levi's murderous impulses are because of the magical stone?
Not all of it. Think of it as something that causes a small spark to burn into a much larger flame.
In other words,
a wolf cub is still a wolf.
he was being so ambiguous. I didn't know how I should take that message. Was he saying that even without the magical stone, Levi would have eventually gone out and murdered someone? Or would that desire not ever have surfaced if it weren't for the stone?
I'll take my leave now. I'm sure there are things you need to explain to those two.
He appeared uninvited and left similarly on his own accord. I had seen him many times already at that point, but I still didn't understand him. But I would deal with him later. Much later. I turned back to the two who were quietly watching my exchange with Hugh. There is something I need to tell you. It's about the magical stones that you both have. I explained everything I knew to them. I told them about Kaleidovia and about the magical stones. Among the remaining magical stones, Olgar owned one of them. I also told them that it could have led to the death of Francisca as well.
Then the stone is the cause of my...
Levi still appeared to be doubting it. If we were to take Hugh's word for it, the magical stone wasn't the only thing at fault. Levi had his own issues, and that would mean Olgar did too. But there was no point in thinking about that now. That's why I want you to let me have them for safekeeping.
Yeah.
Levi didn't appear to be fixated on it at all. He removed the ring and carelessly tossed it at me.
Oh. I have to ask. The same thing's not going to happen to you when you hold that, right?
It's fine. I'm going to keep it with the Kaleidovia. If possible, I'd like for you to do the same, Levon. Levon thought a bit while looking at his accessory, but what he said next were words of rejection.
No. I'll hold on to this myself.
Huh? Why?
Olgar is after it, right? Keeping them all in one place is too dangerous.
He did have a point. He just saw the danger of the magical stones, but he was being calm about it. But for Levon, there were also risks.
What are you going to do if you go insane?
I will never be swallowed up by insanity.
Wow. Is that an insult to me?
That's not what I mean. Because you did the dirty work, I was able to maintain my composure the whole time. That's why I'll be fine.
Levon.
Is that all right, Jed?
Yeah, but please be careful. If you see any signs that something is going wrong, please tell me right away.
All right. I'll keep that in mind. Seems like we know what to do then. Let's stop right here.
As if waiting to say it, Lawrence jumped in the conversation.
I think you all need to take a rest. Especially you, Levi. I'm sure you haven't been able to for a very long time.
Levi heaved a short sigh as if he just remembered how tired he was.
Feel free to use whatever open room there is. And it's almost time for people to come for the service. I suggest you leave before people see you.
We all listened to Lawrence's advice. We were all tired, but we also needed to think about what to do from that point onward. Levon returned to the Wolf Clan's hideout. Levi would stay at the church in a room different from mine. After promising to meet again, we all headed back to sleep.